It's time we make some money on UFC Nashville. In this video, I'm going to give you 3 of my best bets. I got a money line bet for you, a round prop bet, and a parlay. 2 of those 3 are plus money. In addition, I'm going to show you every single one of my DFS plays, which you know you should always tail. And lastly, I'll let you know where you can get every single one of my bets this week on UFC Nashville completely for free. But before we do that, as always, we have to recap how last card went. UFC 317, the 3 best bets that I gave you. Number 1 was Joshua Van moneyline. He got it done. 2-unit play, biggest play of the night. He gets it done, almost finishes him in round 3. I thought it was a clear 29-28. Could have argued a 30-27 for Joshua Van. Somebody might be pissed about that in the comments, but I thought he was landing the better shots the entire fight. Brandon Royval is a dog, though, and that was a great fight. Great cash there. The round prop bet was an L, under 1.5. Jonathan Deniz, I guess, just doesn't have that big of power, or Alvin Hines' prison chin is just that durable. I got to tip my cap to Alvin Hines. I mean, he was getting pieced up pretty badly early on in that fight, but he just kept battling through it and actually took the 3rd round. So got to give him some props there. Didn't think he was going to be able to hold a candle. Is that the saying? Hold a candle to Jonathan Deniz's striking. Either way, we had it at plus 110. I think it closed minus 120. CLV nowadays just is the kiss of death. But we lose a unit on that. But we did hit the Peyton Talbot decision play. A lot of people were chirping me for that one. But we cashed it, plus 500. Peyton Talbot looked amazing in that fight. Takedown defense looked good. Obviously, the cardio is always going to be good. His striking is great. His durability is great. Felipe Lima hit him with some good shots, but Peyton Talbot just doesn't care. He just shrugs it off, keeps marching forward, and he hits hard. Felipe Lima felt that. He won the fight 29-28, 30-27, whatever way you want to see it. Peyton Talbot got it done by decision, plus 500 to cash us in. And last week, the total was plus 1.74 units on the 3 bets that I gave you. So we're on like a 3 or 4 week winning streak or profitable streak. When you look at the best bets record, I believe, just off the top of my head, but it feels like we haven't lost of the 3 bets that I gave you in quite some times when you add them up and you look at positive or negative. So that's great. The DFS recap. I knew DFS was going to be tough that week. I only had 3 plays out there because from what I was seeing, a lot of these fights I thought would go either later or go to a decision. And then I had to play a bunch of hires. And that's either going to turn out really well or really bad because it's tough when you're playing hires. Guys could get knocked out in round 1, just like Jack Hermanson did, just like Hyder Emil did, and ultimately you lose, just like Charles Oliveira did as well. And so we lose those, but it's okay because I know over the long term we are profitable, and we have been very, very profitable. My dog is walking right here. She's trying to apologize because she pissed on the carpet. I guess she's going to join me. Here we go. Say hi to the camera. She's going to join me for the best bets video. All right, here we go. DFS recap was a minus 3 units overall. So overall, sucky night on DFS, but that's okay. I think it's time. We get into the bets. Calvin Kattar on the money line is going to be the money line bet. Bet number 1 is Calvin Kattar money line. A lot of people are going to shit on me for this. Probably going to be talking some smack. How you taking Calvin Kattar 4-fight losing streak? Steve Garcia's knocked out his last 5 opponents. The problem is, Steve Garcia leaves himself to be hit often. He's been dropped 5 times in the UFC. He has not faced a Calvin Kattar in his career. And obviously, Calvin's towards the downside of his career. But I think this is a winnable matchup for Calvin Kattar. This isn't some Aljamain Sterling. This isn't a Youssef Zalal that's not going to allow you to hit him. Steve Garcia is going to allow you to hit him. He's going to swing hard, and he's probably going to hit you. But Calvin Kattar is ultra durable. Never been knocked out. Never been knocked down in the UFC. So I'm going to trust the durability here. I'm going to trust the experience on the Calvin Kattar side. We're getting him at dog odds. If he gets knocked out in round 1, so be it. I'll tip my cap to Steve Garcia. He does it again. But I think if Calvin Kattar can get past round 1, he could take over in the fight. Or he could even knock out Steve Garcia early on in the fight as well. I mean, Calvin's got the more technical striking, in my opinion. I think the straighter shots. I think the faster hands. Steve Garcia throws hard, but he also winds up a lot, and he has been countered many, many times in the UFC. So at plus 107, give me Calvin Kattar for 1 unit. There's your money line bet for the week. Bet number 1 is in. Let's go to the Underdog Fantasy Plays. If you're in one of these highlighted states, you're going to want to download the Underdog app. and you're going to want to use code HeyJive to get your deposit bonus up to $1,000. We're positive 92.78 units since the beginning of 2024, and that is not including the 5-pick entries that you see on the screen that we have hit this year. We've been very close on multiple as well, 4 out of 5 on multiple. Last week was not good, but I assume this week is going to be good, and when I was looking at them, I thought they were pretty dang good. So I think I have a good feeling about this week. If you're watching on a TV or a monitor, you can pull out your phone, scan the QR code here to download the Underdog app faster, and you can lock in these plays. Let's take a look. Melissa Martinez, lower than 41.5 significant strikes. Fatima Klein doesn't absorb many significant strikes. Melissa Martinez, really not that high volume of a striker. I mean, she is more of a point fighter where she's going to hit you with one shot and then run. So I don't really think she's going to rack up a ton of significant strikes here. And I think Fatima Klein, if she's smart, is going to be looking to take this fight to the ground. And I think she's going to have success doing that. She's minus 1,400. So if she wants to take this fight to the ground, she will. And when she's on top of Melissa Martinez, she's not going to be landing significant strikes. So lower on Martinez there. Max Griffin, higher than 48.5. I believe Chris Curtis's opponents have hit this in like 7 or 8 straight fights. He goes to decision a lot. Max Griffin goes to decision a lot. I think the fight probably goes to decision. I don't think there's going to be a lot of grappling. Max Griffin, not a super high volume striker. I think he lands a little bit less than 4 significant strikes per minute. But Chris Curtis gets hit with over 6 significant strikes per minute. So if this is a 15-minute kickboxing battle, Max Griffin should be able to get 50 plus easily. Max Griffin higher there. Mike Davis lower than 69.5. Now this line has moved a lot. So that is why you want to be in the Home of Fight Picks premium membership. So you get these lines early on and you don't have to play the bumps. But either way, I got Mike Davis at 69.5 lower because I think there's an upside for an early finish here. Mike Davis has good striking, but finds himself in a lot of grappling scenarios. I mean, he will look for takedowns himself. I think Mitch Ramirez might look for some takedowns here. So we have upside for an early finish. Mitch Ramirez is not the most durable guy, doesn't have the best cardio, and we know that both guys will look to grapple. So the line is super high. They're at 69.5, so I took the lower. Morgan Charrier, higher than 40.5. I believe both guys are pretty dang durable. I mean, Nate Landwehr is not, he gets hit, but he is pretty durable and he has good recoverability. So Nate is hittable. I believe he absorbs like 5 significant strikes per minute. Morgan Charrier, I think he's going to be looking to kick a lot at range. And Nate's such a pressure fighter that he gets hit a lot. So I think Morgan Charrier is going to be able to go over 40.5. And I think the fight probably does go to a decision. Morgan Charrier, very, very durable guy. And I don't know that he's going to crack Nate Landwehr with something, knock him out. If he does, obviously, we're taking that risk. If he knocks out Nate in round 1, then this probably ain't going to hit. But I don't really see it happening. So I'm going to take Morgan Charrier higher than 40.5 there. And then Vitor Petrino lower than 34.5. Austin Lane's opponents have gone on to this in every single UFC fight, including his Dana White Contender Series fights. His fights don't last very long, and Vitor Petrino is, number one, not a very high-volume striker, so I think it's only going to take one big shot for Vitor to knock out Austin Lane. Vitor might even look to grapple here, so I like the lower there on Vitor Petrino. 5-pick entry, 20x your money there on Underdog. Then we got Vitor lower and Calvin Kattar lower than 40.5 significant strikes as well. Steve Garcia's opponents never gone over that. They've gone under that in every single fight. Every single fight he's had in the UFC, including his Contender Series fight, they've landed 27 significant strikes or less. So he's kill or be killed, doesn't absorb that many significant strikes, and I don't think that fight's going to last very long. So I like Calvin Kattar lower than 40.5, 2-pick entry to win 3x. Then we got Melissa Martinez, Mike Davis, both lower for a 3x payout, and Max Griffin and Morgan Charrier both higher for a 3x payout right there. Once again, if you're in one of these highlighted states, download the Underdog app, use code HeyJive, get your deposit bonus up to $1,000. Lock those plays in for free this week, and we can make some money. And as I said, the line has shifted on Mike Davis, and a lot of these lines do shift. So that's why you always got to be searching for the best lines. A couple other apps that are out there with the DFS lines are Sleeper Picks and Chalkboard. You got to shop the best lines. So if you're in one of these purple states, high or light purple states, download the Sleeper app, link down in the description below. Use code HeyJive to get your deposit bonus. We had a play on there last week. They just didn't have their lines up too early this week. And they got a little promo on Mitch Ramirez. I'm not saying higher or lower on that one, but you do what you want there. It's a discount. You can maybe take it. And then chalkboard as well. If you're in one of the green states here, use code HeyJob, get your deposit bonus. Link down in the description below. Shop the best lines so you're not missing out on the value. We'll go to the round prop bet. We're taking the fight to not go the distance in the Fatima Klein, Melissa Martinez fight. Minus 125, 1 unit. I would have liked to have gotten it a little bit earlier in the week, but I was trying to wait throughout the week to just kind of dial in on what I wanted to do, where I wanted to put my units this week. So I was waiting, and then I locked a bunch of plays in today, and this was one of them. I have the fight to not go the distance here because I believe Fatima Klein, if she does get Melissa Martinez to the ground, I think she can finish her, man. Like, I think Fatima Klein is way more physical. She's the way better grappler, and Melissa Martinez is getting taken down and kind of getting her back taken by Elise Reed. That's not a good look. Not a good look whatsoever. Fatima Klein coming off a round 2 TKO finish where Dudakova was not that bad of a grappler. And Fatima Klein had her in some real bad spots, landed some ground and pound, wore her out, and got it done inside the distance. I think she could do similar things here to a smaller, less of a wrestler in Melissa Martinez. So I think Fatima Klein gets the finish. There's not a big difference between Klein inside the distance and the fight to not go the distance. So pay a little bit more, like 10 cents more, and you just take the fight to not go the distance at minus 125. Maybe Melissa Martinez hits her with a head kick. You never know. So that's why we take the fight to not go the distance there. 1 unit on it, minus 125. There's your round prop bet for the week. Now, if you want all the bets this week, jump in the Home of Fight Picks Premium membership. There's a link down in the description below to do so. If you use code Nashville, you're going to get a 7-day free trial. So you're going to get all the bets I have this week on UFC Nashville, and you'll get some early plays next week for UFC 318, which is going to be a pretty solid card because I think they made some adjustments, added a couple fights, so it looks a lot better than it did. But on the year, we're positive 33.19 units in 2025. Last year, we were up over 100 units. We're in between the 30 and 40 mark for the past couple of weeks, but I think we're dialing it in now. And I think we're going to continue to grow that number and hopefully get to 100 units by the end of the year again. Use code Nashville, 7-day free trial. That's where we're going to get all my bets this week for free. Link down in the description below. Home of Fight Picks Premium membership. Go to the parlay bet. The parlay this week, we're going over-unders. We're going over-unders because we got a ton of minus 800s, minus 900s, minus 1,000 money lines, and I'm just not doing that. Okay, I'm not doing that. So the over 2.5 rounds in the Max Griffin Chris Curtis fight is sitting about minus 240, maybe minus 250, I forget, but it's around that range. And I think that should be like minus 300 or higher because Chris Curtis, very durable. Max Griffin, very durable. And I don't really see either guy hitting each other with something huge. I think if anything, maybe Chris Curtis knocks out Max Griffin, but Max is a guy who's pretty intelligent with his striking, made it the distance with Michael Morales, and Chris Curtis, ultra durable guy, pretty high guard. I think it's just going to be a mid-pace 15-minute kickboxing battle that probably goes to decision. Obviously, we're playing the over 2.5, so if it ends in the last 2.5 minutes of the fight, we're still covered, but I don't really see either guy running away with it with some big knockout early. So I like the over 2.5 there in the Curtis and Griffin fight. Then we're going to parlay that with the under 1.5 in the main event. Now, I've been burned on these under 1.5s before, but I really just don't see how this fight lasts 7.5 minutes because Taliesin Teixeira goes in there throwing hard punches, hard kicks. Derek Lewis, for one, doesn't like that type of pressure. So I think Taliesin Teixeira probably gets the early finish, but Derek Lewis, the knockout king, dude. Like if he touches Taliesin Teixeira's chin with a big right hand, I've seen Taliesin take a shot, and he takes it pretty well, but he hasn't taken a shot from Derek Lewis. So, instead of laying the juice on Taliesin Teixeira here, I'm just going to take the under 1.5 rounds. I think both guys are live for an early finish. I mean, Derek Lewis, it just takes one, and Taliesin Teixeira is as dangerous as him. And considering we're getting a guy with much less UFC experience here against a guy with a lot of UFC experience, maybe the inexperienced guy comes in here, gets a little bit too confident, and gets clipped by Derek Lewis, or Derek Lewis just crumbles to the younger, faster, dangerous guy in Taliesin Teixeira. So there's your parlay bet for the week, over 2.5 and the under 1.5 in the main event. plus 104 on that parlay. I got 1.5 units on that as your parlay bet for the week. Now we'll go to the Betr Picks place. If you're in one of these purple states, you're going to want to download Betr Picks if you have not already. We've hit the 100X before this year. We hit it also a 100X last year at UFC Macau. So we made some real good coin on Betr Picks. Use code HeyJive to get your deposit bonus up to $250. Put these plays in. The 8-legger this week. Mike Davis, lower. Melissa Martinez, lower. Morgan Charrier, higher. Eduardo Mora, higher. Max Griffin, higher. Vitor Petrino, lower. Derek Lewis, lower. And Calvin Cater, lower. 8 picks, $100, wins $10K. Feel great about that one. 2-pick entry right here. Make sure you always lock it in the 2-pick entries, okay? If you're not locking in the 2-pick entries, then you're not serious about being profitable over the long term. Over the long term, because you can't hit a 100X very often. If you hit one per year, then you're multiplying your money by 2 times, more than that. I forget the math. Excuse me, because I didn't get much sleep last night, okay? I got a baby, get up early. Trying to get the content out to you. But make sure you're playing the 2X or the 2-pick entries, because this is where you make the money consistently. These are bonus. Every time you sweep, then boom, you hit a 100X. That's great. We've swept multiple times. We made a lot of money. 2-pick entry here. Derek Lewis, lower than 20.5 significant strikes. Not a high volume guy. Going to be at a reach disadvantage. I don't think the fight lasts long. I'll take Derek Lewis lower than 20.5 all day long. Eduardo Mora higher than 40.5. Her numbers are pretty low, but it's a very small sample size. And Veronica Hardy, not a girl that's easy to hit. She uses a lot of lateral footwork. Denise Gomes, also not a girl that's easy to hit. She stays at range and blitzes you with big punches. And she was just trying to take down Denise Gomes the entire fight. The fight before that, she landed a ton of significant ground strikes against Ruiz, Montserrat Ruiz, I think it is. And she went over, but the real thing here is Lauren Murphy. Lauren Murphy is extremely hittable. Extremely hittable, extremely slow, but also very, very tough with solid takedown defense. So Eduardo Mora is mainly a grappler who's improving her striking. I expect her to get stuck on the feet with Lauren Murphy for periods of time here. And I think the fight probably goes to decision. If it goes to decision, all we need is less than 15 significant strikes per round. And realistically, I think Eduardo Mora could get 20 plus in every round. So Eduardo Mora higher than 40.5 is the other pick on that 2-pick entry. 3X payout on there. Lock those plays in on Betr Picks. If you're in one of those purple states, use code HeyJive, get that deposit bonus. You can put them in for free. And lastly, if you stuck around to the end of the video, I'm going to give you a free t-shirt. All you got to do is comment on this video. Leave any type of comment. You'll automatically be entered to get a Professor Parlay t-shirt. I'm going to send it to you. No questions asked. You don't even got to pay for shipping. All right. I just want to do this because I appreciate y'all for the support, and I appreciate y'all for your time to view the video, and I want to give something back. So all you got to do is comment on the video to be entered. I'll find a way to pick a winner, and once that winner is picked, I'll send you a t-shirt. I got all different sizes, so don't worry about that. And if you want to buy a shirt, go ahead. ProfessorParlayShop.com to purchase a Professor Parlay shirt and get your merch. But either way, I appreciate y'all for viewing the video. Like it for me. Subscribe to the channel. We'll be back here real soon. HeyJive Picks.